Family lawyers are now seeing a wave of divorces caused by red pill content. Let's talk about it. According to a CBC report, men are bringing red pill ideas into their marriages by demanding obedience and treating their wives like subordinates. A Canadian family lawyer says he's seeing a trend of men getting sucked into misogynistic ideals and the marriage starts to unravel. One woman said her husband became controlling after binging this bullshit. She said it was like he forgot I was his wife and started treating me like a servant. Red pill is not just content. Studies have shown that men who consume red pill media show lower levels of emotional intelligence, higher levels of loneliness, and a hostility towards women. So not only is red pill content keeping men single, it's ruining relationships. Some of these men lose custody, fall into depression, and double down on the manosphere. Just remember, the red pill is poison, no matter when you take it.
Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you want to stay and hear what the men have to say about the red pill content. A lot of them are being awake and realize that the red pill content is detrimental to their relationship, even marriage. There have been countless studies that show that red pill content is not good for relationship, regarding if a man is single or in a relationship, because the things that our men are being taught are things that are not helping them getting a woman or staying with a woman, because those things are pushing them away from relationship. They are isolating themselves and putting every woman in the same category. So you want to hear about it if you're someone who have been watching red pill content or who don't even know what red pill content is. So stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one.
If you guys keep listening to the red pill community and this bullshit manosphere, you will never get women. They are making you bitter towards women, hateful, disrespectful towards women. How do you expect to get any women if you preach hate towards women? Understanding female nature is one thing, fellas. I agree. You have to understand the psychology of female nature. But if you don't have the game to back that up with experiences, with knowledge that you know when it comes to women, with your failures, your successes, that red pill, the female nature bullshit, it ain't gonna mean nothing, okay? You're not gonna be able to use that to your advantage. If you combine the game with female nature, that is powerful. That's how you get women, fellas. But you guys are doing it ass backwards. You wanna learn about the red pill and the bullshit that they're preaching about female nature. It's a bunch of incels that hate women. That's all it is. They're teaching you guys to be fearful of women, to not get in relationships, to not date women, to not approach women. Oh, just focus on you, men going their own ways. This is how I know these guys get no women, because you don't understand the superpowers that certain high quality women have. You don't understand the value that they can add to your life. A good woman can influence a man without the need to be forceful. That is why high quality women are such a rare gem and commodity. But you have to learn how to attract those types of women. Not the women you see on the Fresh and Fit podcast or the whatever podcast or just pearly things. Those women are straight up basura. That's what they are. I don't mess with women like that. It gains mass views. That's why they have these women on these shows. But you don't learn shit about game or how to pick up women, how to approach women, how to date beautiful women, how to keep them in their feminine state, how to keep them loving you at all times. They don't teach you this shit, fellas. They teach you about the red pill because they know it gains mass followers. That's why. And you're being exploited by them, disrespecting these women live on these podcasts, and you guys are falling for it. You guys are falling for it. They're all snakes in disguise. I want nothing to do with them. I don't even listen to that red pill bullshit anymore, fellas. I'm doing my own thing. I understand female nature. I understand the psychology of women. I have my own game that I learned with over 17 years of experience before any of this shit was even popular. But when you combine that game that you have with female nature and the psychology of women, you can never lose with women, fellas. That's why we're teaching you the real game. All those other podcasts with these bullshit hosts, they don't have game, fellas. They never got girls until they got a little bit of fame and status. That's not a ladies' man. That is a trick. That's what that is. I never needed fame and status to get any women. I understand the game and what women are attracted to. If you guys want to change your life and actually wake up next to beautiful women, start dating beautiful women and keeping them in a healthy relationship, Listen to our podcast on Spotify. The link is in our link tree. It's called The Full Armor of Game with the Texting Prince. We break down the full game for you guys, and we teach you the real game without hating women, without bashing women, without being disrespectful towards women. I'll agree there's a lot of low quality women out there, but once again, why are you dealing with those low quality women? I'm not inviting negative toxic energy within my life. I don't want that around my energy because I protect what's sacred to me. That is my spiritual energy. I'm only having positive, high quality women within my presence. If you don't want to learn how to attract those women, don't get my attraction course. Don't get my relationship course either. That ain't for you, bro. Go keep listening to these red pill podcasters and let me know how that works out for you. If I hate cats and I keep preaching about how dangerous cats are and that I should stay away from cats, I'm not going to get any cats, fellas. But if I love women and I'm preaching to you what a beautiful woman can bring to your life, obviously you are going to get women. I'm going to get women. That's what we are teaching here, fellas.
The so-called red pill movement was originally about waking up from societal illusions, waking up from the matrix. But somehow it got hijacked into a hyper-masculine, misogynistic ideology. And unfortunately for many black men, it became a very real reaction to a very real pain. The pain of fatherlessness, the pain of betrayal, the pain of systemic emasculation, social invisibility, and economic struggle. See, but the thing is, instead of healing that pain, the red pill movement weaponized it. It took vulnerability and turned it into venom, especially towards black women. See, the thing is, the red pill movement tells black men, don't be a simp. High-value men don't chase women. Women are hypergamous and can't be trusted. Never prioritize a woman. Get money, grind, and stay cold. That's what the red pill movement teaches men. It reduces relationships to power games, a war of leverage, not love. And more specifically for black men, the message becomes, oh, you don't owe black women nothing. She didn't support you. She didn't love you. Why are you protecting her? But the thing is, that narrative is bullshit. And that framing is not only toxic, it's historically inverted. Because before the programming of white supremacy and gender wars, black love was sacred. Black men protected black women, not out of submission, but out of duty. Black women stood beside black men during every form of oppression, from slavery to Jim Crow to mass incarceration and beyond. So when you realize that and you recognize that, you will quickly realize that this idea of loving a black woman being a weakness is a lie. That lie was planted to divide the pillars of the black family. There's a saying, if you can convince a man that love is weakness, you can make him into a weapon instead of a healer. And that's what's going on. Because at the end of the day, a real king doesn't dominate his women or his woman. A real king uplifts her. Because a real king knows that power without love is tyranny, that leadership without service is ego, and masculinity without compassion is empty performance. But the red pill ideology says your worth is in how little you care, and that you're supposed to keep her chasing, keep her suffering, so that you can stay in control. And that is not masculinity. That's just fear wearing a fitted cap. And the fallout, the consequences of this red pill movement are obvious. Black women feel unprotected, feel unloved and unsafe, not just from society, but from their own men. They are called masculine for being survivors, for actually surviving. Their softness is buried under armor that was built from betrayal. And many black women feel like they don't even have a place to rest, to cry, or even be held. And then the cycle just continues. You got hurt people avoiding each other, blaming each other, rather than healing each other. So what does a real awakening look like for black men as it relates to this red pill movement? I think if you truly want to identify as a red pill guy, or you truly just want to take the red pill, then you have to realize it's not about dominance. It's about waking up from the colonized mindset that love is weakness and pain is power. The real red pill movement says, I can protect and still feel. I can lead and still listen. I can love my woman deeply. Not because I need her, but because I honor her divinity. It says we are not enemies, we are soul reflections of each other. So in the spirit of reclaiming strength as love, you have to understand that loving black women does not make you soft. Protecting her does not make you weak. And standing beside her does not shrink you, it expands you. The strongest black men in history, from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King to Fred Hampton to even your grandfather, these men loved their women with full hearts and fearless hands. They didn't get seduced by bitterness, and they weren't afraid to serve love as warriors. At the end of the day, the Red Pill movement stole the pain of black men and sold us a blueprint for loneliness. And now it's time to take the real red pill, to heal, to see clearly, and to rebuild the spiritual bond between black men and black women. And not from a place of control, and not from fear of being hurt again, but from the truth, which is, we are each other's keepers. We are not weak for loving each other. We are divine for it.
Red pill concepts is distorting the collective. Specifically, is distorting the men only because men are taught the wrong stuff. First things first, men are taught to manipulate women into getting what they want, which is sexual intercourse, not a long-term relationship. Secondly, they think that money is the end-all be-all, that the more money you have, the higher value you are, which is not true. And they think that being overly masculine means being very, very controlling, and that's not true. That actually repels women. All them qualities I just said actually repels women. I've seen that with my own eyes. Y'all wonder why a man who doesn't have a lot of money, a bum, gets all the women? Only because he has the energy. He don't need all them outside resources. He don't need to try hard to do none of that kind of stuff. The women is going to be attracted to him. Women themselves, they don't want an overly controlling man. They don't go for the money. The right type of woman, the woman who's going to be long-term for you, they're not going for the money. They don't care about that. They go for energy. If you have good energy, they're going for you. Simple as that.
Let's talk about red pill content, why it's so popular, and also why it's extremely problematic. This is going to be a long video, and it's a lot of notes, so you'll have to keep up, and I'm going to have to look over a lot. So for starters, the red pill comes from the Matrix. If you've seen the movie, it's like take the red pill and wake up to the whatever, this world, the hidden truth or whatever. So in how it's being used is this idea that feminism is just holding guys down and everything is against men and men are just so hated on, and masculinity is about being dominant and just being this and this. And then it mostly spreads on the internet, because I feel like anyone having that conversation IRL would just look insane. So it's like these big influencers like get on here and they're like, yeah man, you gotta be a man, you gotta be a man. And then obviously people watching are like, yeah bro, he knows what he's talking about, he's successful, he's this, he's this, he's this, let me go have 30 wives and they only care about my money, and all they flaunt is their money, but then you only care about their money. And we'll get into that later. So the reason it rose so fast, right, is a couple of things. So a lot of people who needed this were in an identity crisis. They were vulnerable. People who are vulnerable are more susceptible to fall for things. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. That is a tale as old as time. So it's like when people my age feel lost, they feel rejected, they feel like women actually have ostracized them, a man coming out here and being like, oh yeah, women are this is this, I guess it gives them a sense of relatability. It gives them a sense of belonging. It's like, you know what, the aspect of red pill that gets people is be better, improve, be a good man, get in the gym, be fit. So you're like, okay, no, that makes sense. So then when the other stuff starts to come in, it almost gets filtered through a thing that they try to make sense because they've been so bought into the rest of it. It's like if you believe 90% of what someone says, you're gonna try to make the 10% make sense, even if it goes against your own values, because you can't afford to fall thinking, well, I agree with the 90%. That's a whole nother concept for a whole nother video. We'll talk about that later. So it also gave men something that made them feel like they had control again. Like, it's like, okay, no, I control my relationship, I control my life, I control my finances, I control what I do, I control how I do it, da-da-da. And it was online. So since it was online, it's like you like one video, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's like that algorithm starts to make you feel like, you know what, no, that is right, because you see it so much. It's kind of like when you hear a song on the radio over and over and over and over again. You start to like the song, and the song was kind of butt low-key when it came out. It's because you've been exposed to it so much that it gets in your mind, and it like gets traction, and it gets attention, and you're like, okay. So then, as like social norms were changing in around like 2020, 2022-ish time, things start to kind of lined up with what people are saying, but not like in necessarily the good or bad way. But it's like the narrative, as right here, it seems like societal betrayal. So it seems like men are actually being ostracized because of the fact that women are starting to get into their own roles of doing the same thing that men used to think was the epitome of being a man. So it's like now I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, I pay the bills because she paid the bills too. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like women have so much to offer that men who think they were doing everything can't stand that they have so much to offer. So when a woman's like, no, I can pay for my bills, I don't need you to do that, they're like, well, I hope I'm making sense. So it becomes toxic. It's very toxic. But when it became toxic was when they started making women the problem of everything. Women are manipulative. Women are just promiscuous. Women are just this. They're hypergamous. They just always want the better option. So why be a better man? She just gonna leave you for a better man anyway. So you gotta be more dominant. You gotta have multiple women. You gotta be emotionally detached from women. So it's like now they're all emotionally detached. So they're just like, man, you can't be vulnerable with women. Being vulnerable is weak. If you're vulnerable with a woman, she gonna leave you. What are we talking about? So then you get this, and then there's this distrust. So it's like I can't even trust a woman. Like if I'm in a relationship, it's just a power dynamic. I can't be with a woman who's a man because y'all go 50-50 on the bills. Like what? Anyways, so it's like I can't do this, and then it just gets back to this whole alpha male, dominant. Do we see the problem? I hope red pill people watching this video see the problem while I lay it out for you. So let me tell you the actual psychological cost. So for one, the masculine norms, right? Like according to the definition of toxic masculinity, the things like emotional repression, trying to be dominant, trying to be aggressive, lead to mental health issues, or they can lead to mental health issues such as like depression. And where you sit here, you start to try to make these things the norms. So now you got a bunch of guys who are perfectly fine guys thinking they're not doing good because they're not this and this and this and this and this. When none of it has to do with being a man. None of it has to do with being a man. You don't have to just be this old dominant brown guy. You don't. I can tell you that firsthand. Your self-trust and the trust you have in your relationships they break. Like you lose compassion for yourself because you start to see her and think you're not this man that you should be. And you throw your relationship out the window because you treat the girl so bad because you think you gotta be this kind of guy. And then it's just super counterproductive. Back to the relationship. It's counterproductive. You get rid of intimacy, you get rid of vulnerability, you get rid of all this stuff. You start to get defensive, you start to get suspicious. You start to say, oh, well, I need options. You start to sit here and be like, well, this and this and this. Or I can't go to my girl because she just gonna leave me if I cry. Shut up. Shut up. Like, shut up. So, you want to stay away from this. If you're a young guy and you see like Fresh and Fit or those red pill guys, stay away from it. Stay away from it. Just stay away from it. I won't say anything else. Just stay away from it. Stay away from it. And what I will give them credit for, they do say a lot of things when talking about being a better man that you can get behind. Be fit, be responsible, get money. It's when the women start coming. It's when they start talking about women where it's like, shut up. It's when they start talking about how you need to be around women. Shut up. No. Take, like, the be fit, get money. I love money. That other stuff, shut up.
Now, I was a person that used to be in the red pill community. I was a person that used to be in this alpha male space. And let me tell you, it destroys you. It destroys you. It destroys your life. I cut off so many people because I thought they were not good enough. I thought they didn't have the mentality to become millionaires, to become successful people, to have all this money, to have all these possessions. I became so derogatory and disrespectful towards women, because you have this notion, you have this belief that women are to be quiet, that women are not supposed to talk back, that women are not supposed to argue, and that women can't debate. But let me tell you something. Because of that, I lost so many friends. Because of that, I went through like embarrassment socially. A lot of people saw me in a different light, and to be honest, it's justifiable. The way I was behaving was uncalled for. It was not godlike. It was not nice. And this is the thing that I want people to understand. This red pill stuff is for people to make profit. All these people like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and all these other red pill content creators, the reason why they do stuff like this is to profit from getting young men that are vulnerable, that may be hurt from a past relationship or from their family issues or whatever, or from their childhood, and making them into intolerable human beings. Do you understand? Or it could be that people like, for example, Fresh and Fit, the people in Fresh and Fit, they were hurt from a previous relationship, and they project, instead of healing and becoming more mature and understanding to whether to discern a woman who's virtuous from a woman who's promiscuous, they end up projecting that out to the world, their frustration, their hurt, that you see them arguing with like promiscuous women on panels and shutting them down, getting upset at them, saying whatever they want to them, because at the end of the day, that's how they deal with their trauma. And you don't want to be one of those guys that deals with their trauma by projecting negativity and hurt onto other people. You want to be someone who's mature. You want to be someone who's calm. You want to be someone who's gentle, who's kind. Yes, of course, have that assertiveness, have that self-control, have that intuition, have that determination. But at the same time, you don't need to be overly aggressive. You don't need to be derogatory towards women. You don't need to be narcissistic and self-conceited. You can self-improve. You can heal from your wounds. You can heal from your trauma without engaging in any of that toxic content. So don't do what I did and make that mistake and destroy your life. I'm telling you, don't destroy your life.